Well, good evening, everyone. It's Carol Ford here, and I am so excited. I just love coming together at this time of the month, every month, and just seeing all of you on the attendees list coming from all across the nation. So it is so exciting to see people from coast to coast who come together like this on a monthly basis to learn more and to get updated on anything new or anything that needs to be informed equally across to all ambassadors. So what a great forum for us to do that every month. And for those of you that are first attendees because you've just gotten started with Regal, or perhaps you just haven't been on huddles before, we welcome you and thank you for investing this evening in your life so that you can be a part of this ambassador event. So thank you so much, everyone, for taking time out tonight to be a part of this program. We are going to go through our regular information, our updates and whatnot in the first 10 minutes, and then I'm going to hand over the webinar to our guest trainer tonight because she has a lot to share with you that I know you are going to benefit from. So without delaying any further, let me just go through our agenda quickly here. We are going to talk about the news and updates that we need to inform you of. We're going to do our wonderful recognition of the March activity, and then we're going to have our training with Karen Clark. Now, Karen has another engagement immediately following this one, and so we need to get her offline at 9 p.m. Eastern exactly. So she is going to reserve some time during her training period with us to cover any questions. And so as I've been saying, as you were arriving, it's important that if you want a question answered, anything that is raised in her presentation tonight that you would like to ask questions, put them in the question box of your control panel. And at the end of our time together, I will read through those questions so that Karen can answer them for you. Now, I would ask that any questions that are related to ambassador business, aside from what Karen is covering here tonight, if you can just email that to customer service at regal.ca, or you can private message me through Facebook, and I'd be more than happy to address those at that time. But I really want to reserve the question period for Karen tonight because she's going to be sharing some very valuable information that you can apply to your Regal business and see it grow. All right, so what's new and what are the updates? Our beautiful issue 2 spring catalog. Isn't it amazing? We are getting so many positive comments about this catalog. You know, we did it right this time. You know, we've got everything that you've been asking for. There's more of the traditional products. There's a wider range of the lower priced items. It's a very attractive cover. You know, all of those kind of things that you've been asking for. So here it is. It's an amazing catalog. Let's just look at some of the highlights. You know, 500 items in this catalog are less than $30. And in fact, out of that 500, there are over 200 of them that are under $15. So for those customers that have been saying, I want lower priced items, they have a huge selection in this catalog. Also, over 50% of the products in this catalog are your traditional type of Regal products that your long-standing customers have grown accustomed to seeing. And so I'm sure that you're getting some great comments from your customers with regards to that. The catalogs are your greatest asset. So you're going to want to make sure that you do not run out. You'll want to make sure that you have catalogs on hand for every time you go out the door and every time somebody knocks on your door. You know, you want to have those catalogs going out to as many people as possible. So they're available right now in your sales tools in your back office for $6.25 for a pack of 12. Now, because it's after the pre-ordering period, you can no longer have them customized with your information on it. So you'll need to actually put your own contact information on the back of each of those catalogs. But they are still available. Make sure you order a pack or 2 or 3 so that you don't run out throughout this catalog campaign. And then if you are really enjoying this catalog, do come on board with the rest of them that have been informing us and show the love to corporate, because we've been working really hard at really coming to where you want your catalog to be. So I would really appreciate it if you can send an email to info@regalhomeandgifts.com and just tell us how much you love this catalog and why you love it so much. Also, a reminder that any of the products that are in your catalog or on your website, that you just love and you're impressed with, write up a review on the website, on the regal.ca website, because those reviews are very valuable. As customers are looking at various products, when they see that there's reviews on certain products, they will click on that to read what people have said before they make their decision. So that's to help you and to help your customers in seeing what are other people saying about the products that they are considering. Okay. All right. So issue 3, the pre-order period for the next catalog, will happen at the end of this month. Okay. So the week of April 27th is when we expect to open up the pre-ordering, where you can order packs of 12 for $4.25. Or sorry, $4.95. And so you'll be wanting to watch for that. We notify everyone on Facebook as well as by email when the pre-ordering is opening. So it's going to be at the end of the month, and then we expect delivery at the beginning of June. We expect the printing to be done at the very end of May and start shipping out at the beginning of June. All right. Customer service has asked me to relay some information to you, some reminders and just some tips on how you can help us to expedite resolution to any of your needs and to address any of your questions very quickly. When you call into the office and you get voicemail, do leave us a message, because we do log all the messages left. And so we do take note and we check voicemail several times throughout the day. And when you're calling, leave this information: your name very clearly, your account number, your phone number where we can call you back, and what order number, if there is an order involved in the request, and then whatever the details are. What is that we can help you with at this time? If you leave us with that information, a voice message, you can be sure that your need will be addressed very quickly. In fact, not only do we log, but we hold to the policy that all calls and all emails must be addressed within 24 hours of business days. Okay. Now there's times when it's busier than other times, such as pre-ordering week, and it may take a little bit longer. It might take 36 hours. But nevertheless, the policy is that we do our very best to get back to you, whether it's an email or a voicemail, get back to you within 24 hours of when you left that. Okay. Also, when you are contacting us with regards to a need, do only use one source. Notify us either by phone or by email, but not by both, because our customer service reps, some may be picking up the voicemails and addressing those, and others are picking up emails and addressing those. And if you've left messages at both, then you've tied up 2 people who are addressing your one need, and one of them could actually be addressing somebody else's need. So if you can be mindful of that, if you have a need, think in terms of, am I best to make this a phone message or an email, and then do one or the other. And then the contact information for customer service is at the bottom there, as you can see. All right, so help us help you by following those policies and procedures. Okay, ambassador survey. We put out a survey recently, so thank you so much. Your voice really does matter. Decisions that we make at Regal are based on the feedback that we get from our ambassadors. So we thank you for taking the time to complete those surveys. The survey did close at the end of March. We're looking at all of the responses. They've been very enlightening, and we're reading through all of the recommendations that were put in the comment boxes, and we are taking into serious consideration what we can implement or eliminate. So thank you so much, and I know you'll be seeing some differences in Regal as a result of your voice being heard. Okay, let's talk about March recognition. This is what people have done in the month of March that need to be recognized and celebrated. So March promotions, these individuals have promoted from ambassador to bronze ambassador, meaning that they have reached year-to-date sales of at least $500. And we have, in alphabetical order, Jean-Guy Dugas from Ontario, Lindsay Lemko from Alberta, Kelly McGuire from Ontario, Susan Noden from Alberta, Crystal Peters from Quebec, and Grace Westerson from Alberta. Congratulations to you all. Great job. Now you're on your way to the next level, and you've just given yourself a pay raise. How about that? Congratulations. Now, also promoting in the month of March, from bronze to silver, meaning that they have achieved over $1,000 in year to date already at this stage of the new year. And we have Carol Simmons from Ontario. Great job, Carol. Congratulations. You are now earning a silver commission level. Congratulations. Okay, our March top 10. These individuals are the top 10 salespeople in the month of March, and listed in alphabetical order. Here we are. We have Norma Beliveau from Nova Scotia. We have Rhonda Bouillet from British Columbia. Cindy Cox from Newfoundland. Wendy Franco from Ontario. Heather Jean McCallum from Ontario, Joe Pettypiece from Manitoba, Lise Rivet from Ontario, Barbara Robb from Ontario, Cornelia Risselar from British Columbia, and Joan Wilson from British Columbia. Congratulations to all 10 of you for reaching the top 10 in sales for the month of March. All right, we have an incentive on right now, and it's called Circle of Excellence. It's running for the months of January through to April, and we are going to look at those who have been tracking for all of those first 3 months now into the March qualifiers. This means that they have achieved at least $500 in each of the previous 3 months. In January, February, and March, they did at least $500 in product sales. They will be rewarded accordingly by this list that you see here. They will be recognized in the newsletters and on these webinars. These rewards are valued over $250. They will receive a beautiful Circle of Excellence gold pin, as you see in the center of this page. And they will receive a product coupon for $25 to $50, depending on the level that they achieved throughout this period. They will also each receive a certificate of achievement that has it personalized with their name, saying that they have achieved the Circle of Excellence. They will also have the opportunity to earn either a basic starter kit or a business builder kit that they can then use for their own product business, and even sell the products and make some money on that, or use them for demonstration purposes. They will also have a VIP mastermind event with Fred Pritchard, meaning that they will have an opportunity to join Fred on a webinar where they will be able to have an exclusive conversation with him. They will be sharing some feedback. He will be sharing some information with them. It'll be a great time together. And so that is exclusively for those who reach the Circle of Excellence at the end of April. So the following people are actually tracking very well for achieving this, because they have actually achieved 500 or more in January, February, and March. And they've only one more month to do the same, and they will be achievers of the Circle of Excellence. So let's have a look at our tracking qualifiers now. In alphabetical order, A to M, we have Diane Comstock, Pamela Coutu, Cindy Cox, Jessica Davies, Suzanne Matheson, and Heather Jean McCallum. Great job, everyone. Now let's have a look at our other qualifiers in alphabetical order from P to Z. We have Lucille Prevost, Dolores Rayom, Lise Rivet, Nick Scally, and Joan Wilson. Way to go, all you qualifiers. You are well on your way to being Circle of Excellence achievers. And I know many of you are working very hard to achieve that, because you're calling me at the end of the month and asking me to verify your sales. So great job, all of you. So achieve likewise in April, and you will become a Circle of Excellence achiever. You started strong, you stayed strong, and now you're going to finish strong. You are in the right place. Congratulations. All right, folks, we're going to now switch gears and go into tonight's training. Without further ado, let me just introduce tonight's training to you. It's about connecting, not collecting people. That's what Karen's focus is. And so she's going to be touching on a lot of information here tonight. Some of the topics that she's going to be covering is shown here on the screen: putting people before things, what to post to truly serve, how to avoid Facebook jail, how to do online parties. So Karen Clark is an amazing woman, and she is very well known in the direct selling industry as a social media expert and a dynamic author and trainer. Through Karen, you'll learn the latest tips of leveraging social media to build your regal business. With all the ongoing changes online, and it happens almost on a daily basis, it's easy to be confused about how to take advantage of online tools, especially if you don't want to come across as one of those pushy people on Facebook that is only looking for sales. Karen will teach you in very simple terms how to nurture lasting relationships and how to get quality referrals. With nearly 20 years experience building an online presence within the direct selling industry, Karen teaches from a place of being in the trenches just like you. She's always trying something new while perfecting the tried and true methods. Karen is the author of the popular book series Social Media for Direct Selling and is known for presenting information-packed yet accessible interactive programs that focus on practices that you can use even right away after her training. One thing that permeates all her training is the concept that direct sales and social media marketing is about connecting, like it says at the top of the page, not collecting people. So without further ado, I've done enough talking here. I want to get our Karen Clark online here and ready to share with you. So we're going to switch our computer from mine to hers. And so let me just go here and make her the presenter. All right, Karen, you are unmuted and I'm sending you the presentation rights there. So here we go.
Okay, great. I believe I've got it all set up. Can you see my screen now?
I can. Your nice smile holding your book.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for the great introduction. And I loved hearing all of that recognition. How exciting. So I'm very hopeful that some of the training that I'm providing is going to help people achieve those levels and promotions. If you're not already using social media, you'll be able to learn how to get started. If you are already using social media, maybe you'll learn some ideas and some strategies that you haven't heard of before or improve what you're already doing. So just really briefly, I'll tell you my story. I was actually in a direct selling company back in 1998. And I was a military wife at the time, and I was living in Florida. And my husband got transferred immediately after I started my business. We had to go from Florida up to Washington State, which is completely across the country. And I was devastated because I didn't know how I would be able to continue my business. Well, my cousin, who was a web designer at the time, said, take it online. And as you can imagine, back in 1998, that's like dinosaur ages in internet years. There wasn't a lot going on, but I had been dabbling in some web design things, and I decided to give it a go. Our company didn't even have their own website yet. So I found between Florida and Washington, the time before, during, and after the move, I was able to actually connect with people and start building a business, even in areas I had never set foot in. So there's a lot of opportunity. I went on to continue that business for about 12 years, and I've been teaching social media marketing ever since in a way that combines your offline traditional sales and referrals with the online techniques. And I think you're going to find that the way that I teach it is it's really not that different. You're just using another mode of communication. So your behavior and the things that you say about your business or about your products is very similar if you're doing it correctly. In fact, you know, you wouldn't go into a Chamber of Commerce meeting, for example, and say, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. So I don't want you to do that online. It really is about the relationship building. All right, and as Carol mentioned, I am going to take questions at the end, but let's go ahead and get those on as they come up. So if these, you know, spur on any questions, I'm happy to answer those. So I do want to mention that, oops, get my slide advanced here. There we go. The direct selling business model is the original social network. We already know how to talk to people, how to ask for referrals, how to present our product information in a way that compels people to take action, either purchasing or telling their friends about it. We already know how to do that. And so it's no different online, because when somebody likes or comments on one of your posts, it goes out to their network. So you're leveraging other people's relationships while you're connecting with them. So I want you to think about it in that way. And how can we parallel what we're doing online to what we're doing offline? It's really not that scary. Some people kind of tend to be apprehensive about online, but if you know how to do the offline stuff, you'll know how to do the online with just a little bit of training on where to click and things like that. All right, so there are a few precautions that I like to mention that make it a little bit safer for you to be able to do this and to not get into what we call Facebook jail, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. So it is your responsibility to know and follow the rules, whether it's from your company or whether it's from the social media sites. We all click on the I agree to the terms of service on Facebook when we sign up, but how many of us actually read it? So as a business professional, it's your responsibility to make sure you're doing things that are in compliance with the rules. There's a few little things you can't do and a few things that I'll talk about today. I want to make sure that you're always acting on the up and up and representing the company well. So things like you can't use somebody else's image if you don't have permission to do that. You could be infringing on their copyright, things like that, and keep it professional. Even on your personal Facebook, you're always a reflection of your brand. Just like if you're out in town and you're sharing a catalog with somebody, you're not going to go out in your sloppy sweatpants, right? You're going to just always be cognizant of the fact that you are representative or a reflection of the Regal brand. So make sure that you're always behaving well, in other words. All right, so let's talk about Facebook jail. So this is actually a thing. People may have heard of it, and maybe you haven't heard of it. It's not a place you go. They're not going to lock you up like this. But it is something where if you're breaking one of the rules or the community standards, you might be restricted from doing something. For example, the only time I have ever been in Facebook jail is when I was liking people's comments too quickly. And I guess in Facebook's eyes, it looked like I was a spammer because I was doing it very quickly. It was a contest I had, and I was just liking everybody's entries. And all of a sudden, I got a pop-up that said, it looks like you're misusing one of the features. You'll be restricted from using this. And it took about 2 hours where I couldn't like anybody's posts, and then all of a sudden it came back. So it's not life or death, but if you were, for example, to be restricted from posting at all, and maybe you have a large customer base who's used to seeing you on Facebook, it could last up to 2 weeks, and that can actually be a problem for your business. So I want to caution you against some of the most common ways you might run into trouble. And by the way, let's sidebar here. I tend to talk really quickly. I like to call these kinds of things are like the fire hose of information. And if you want the drip system, I'll tell you how you can get my book at the end. That's where you can take your time and implement things as you go. But I understand it's a lot of information. My goal is for you to pick up on a few things that you can take action on right away, and then you'll be able to watch the replay or get some notes later. All right, so first thing, one account in your real name. I would not be able to legally say Karen Regal Home and Gifts Clark, Karen Regal Clark. You have to use your real name. In fact, sometimes Facebook will ask you to prove your identity. Now, if you're thinking, well, I want to use Facebook for business, how can I include that Regal information? I'm going to encourage you to use what we call a business page or a page on Facebook, or maybe a group for your customers. But your main Facebook account needs to be in your real name. You can include your information about your business on the About tab, kind of like your bio, on your personal profile, but the account itself needs to be in your real name. It's made for personal use, not business. The next thing is that ideally anything that's outwardly selling or promoting your business should start from a business page. If you're posting kind of salesy things on your personal Facebook, you might get flagged as a spammer because Facebook's terms say it's not to be used primarily for commercial use. Now, you maybe have a bigger network on your personal profile, and maybe you're just getting started with a business page. You can take your business page post and share it to your personal, but it should originate on a business page if you really want to stay out of Facebook jail. All right, the next thing is, I mentioned before, get proper permission for use of images and music. Facebook has really been cracking down on this. You can't just go Google a picture of, somebody running on the beach and say, I can't wait for summertime. You don't have permission to use that picture, and that's the artist or the original photographer's copyright. So you need to secure images that you're allowed to use. You can use company images usually. You can take your own pictures, of course. There are some royalty-free image sites where you can either get some for free or purchase them, but just be aware of that. You could get your posts taken down or your account restricted. Music in particular is being immediately dealt with. If you're going on Facebook Live, for example, and you have the radio playing in the background, your whole video can get deleted. I know somebody, their child was, or their teenager was playing guitar, accompanying them on their Facebook Live, and the video got taken down because Facebook doesn't have the rights to broadcast that artist's music. So you can get into trouble for using those kind of things. And the last one is second to last one, to individualize your messages. Facebook has been cracking down on things that are copied and pasted. So sometimes maybe you want to remind people about a sale that you have going on or an event you're going to be at, vendor fair or something like that. And so you decide you're going to privately message people, and you compile a nice little message and then you paste it into the messages individually. That action of the words all appearing at once is exactly what spammers do. And Facebook doesn't take the time to look at your profile or to check out whether or not people asked you to tell them about this product. They just immediately will shut you down from sending messages. And the same thing can be from posting. A lot of people like to post in groups or other things. If you're copying and pasting the same thing over and over, you can be restricted from that activity. So I recommend that you manually type as much as possible. Ideally, the majority of the message is customized and personalized anyway. That's just good customer service. We don't go in and say the exact same thing to every single person at that meeting we went to. We customize it, listen, and offer service that way. All right, and the last one is to follow the 911 code, which I'm going to tell you about, that will help you avoid being marked as spam or have your posts hidden. When your posts are marked as spam or hidden on Facebook by your readers, those are negative flags on your account, and if you accumulate a certain amount of those, your account can get into trouble. So sorry to be all negative on there. There's a lot of great things about using Facebook, so let's start talking about that part. All right, so on Facebook, there's a lot of different places. You might have a profile, a page, a group, an event, Facebook Live, videos, pictures, all these different things, and it can be somewhat confusing on how to use it. So I'm going to briefly go over those different areas, and then I'll give you some tips or strategies on how you can actually implement this. So as you might be aware, Facebook is the most popular, so that's really why we're focusing on that today. There are, of course, other social media sites you might want to look at, but I recommend going where the people are first. Get this down and then maybe go on to another platform if you're really into the online marketing. But Facebook is probably the easiest because the most people are there. In fact, there are billions of daily active users on Facebook. So if we think about that parallel to real life, I look at Facebook as being like the backyard barbecue or cookout where you have a lot of different people from your life. You might have personal friends, business associates, parents of your kids' friends, work coworkers, all kinds of different things gathered at this backyard barbecue. And so again, you're always a reflection of your business, but it's very personal and casual overall in language. So you want to present yourself as kind of having a conversation the same way you would in real life. So ask yourself, what would I do? How would I behave? What would I say if I were in a real life situation? But what's great about Facebook compared to the barbecue is that I mentioned when people like and comment on your post, it could be seen by the other people's networks. In fact, if they like what you're posting enough to share it to their own Facebook, you can get even more exposure. So the average Facebook person has 300 connections. I personally think that's really low. Most people I know have a lot more than 300, but let's just say 300. So if you post something on your business page and let's say 50 people see that post and like it or comment on it, those 50 people the fact that they liked it or commented on it could be seen by their 300 friends each. So do the math, 300 times 50, that's a lot of people. Now, if they like it enough to also share that post and post it as their own to their own profile or group or page or something like that, then their friends, 300 friends, also get exposed to your content. So you can see how things can go viral very quickly if you're posting things that compel people to interact with your posts. So we'll talk about some suggestions for how you can do that. So let's talk about your personal profile again. So this is like your home where you're having that backyard barbecue. It's, just like in your home, you get to invite who you want in and not answer the door you might not want to let in. It's up to you. But again, you're always a reflection of your brand. You want to make sure you're being, it's not like I mentioned you can't use it primarily for business, but it's not like you can't ever talk about your business. You just don't want to ask for that sale and be kind of salesy on your personal profile. But of course, you're going out and about. Let's say you're, sharing catalogs with a local mothers group. I might post on my personal profile that, oh, I'm so excited to go to the local mothers club, and 3 people were interested in my catalog. So that's a way to share something without being salesy, because if you're like me, when I was in the field in direct sales, I'm just kind of like eating, drinking, breathing my business. It's my life. I can't not talk about it. So on my home page, on my profile, I'm going to talk about it. Just want to avoid those really salesy kinds of posts. Another thing I want to mention, I don't know if you guys can see this, but where it says social media author, speaker at Karen Clark, and that Karen Clark is a blue link. That's where you can list your work. If you have a business page, my page just happens to be in my personal name because I have a public figure page. But if I wanted to put Karen Clark, independent Regal Home and Gifts ambassador, that's what it would say. And people could still easily get to my business page that way. And as I mentioned before, you can always add your business information on your about page. All right, and let's talk about, oh, here's your about page right here. I want to make sure you make it easy for people to do business with you. So make sure you have at least one way to contact you that's visible to the public, whether or not they're friends with you. So as you're out, commenting and interacting in groups on maybe other pages, people might be like, oh, who is this chick? What is she talking about? I'm going to go to their page or hover over their name. I want to make sure there's an easy way for people to know what you do and to contact you if they're interested once they find out what you do. The other thing is, well, let me go back for a second. The other thing is, you can't see it here, but where it says details about you on the left side, you can include information about your business on that part. It's totally okay on this whole about tab to talk about your business. I just don't want you promoting yourself too much on your personal profile in the posts that you create. All right, so let's talk about business pages. This is like your store. Your personal profile is your house. Your business page is like your store. It's made for business. Facebook encourages you to use it for business. It's free to set up, so why not? You would just go to facebook.com/business. They tell you all about it. It's super simple and it's very powerful. In fact, it's super powerful in the search engines because it's completely public. You can actually get found in the search engines when somebody's Googling for a product that maybe you offer. So I recommend that you make one if you haven't already done this. Make sure it's in compliance, like you're going to want to identify yourself as an independent ambassador and those kind of things. And I want to mention something on the side here. By the way, the corporate Regal page is not the place for you to promote your business. Make your own page. So just like you wouldn't, let's say I owned a frozen yogurt shop. I wouldn't go into the ice cream shop across the street and say, hey, everybody, I have frozen yogurt across the street. Right? We don't do that. Same thing on other ambassadors' pages. So make your own page and grow your business that way. It's actually really, really powerful. Let me show you something. On the About page, you have lots of room to write things. And I want to encourage you to use some good keywords. And keywords are just things that people might be searching for. So let's say you have Christmas ornaments. Under the section, there will be one that says products. You might want to say, we offer a variety of Christmas ornaments that make great gifts. Use words that people might be searching for because they might be looking for Christmas ornaments that make great gifts, that kind of thing. And you'll also see I included some location words in that last paragraph on here. So you might want to say, now serving, I happen to live in the San Francisco Bay Area. So I could say now serving the greater San Francisco Bay Area, including the counties of Marin, Include those words because somebody who knows the Regal brand might be searching for an ambassador in their local hometown, and your business page can come up just as if it was a regular website. So it's super great. Also make it easy for people to contact you. Use all the real estate on there because it's all really good ways for people to find you. Even within the Facebook search, somebody might be searching for Regal there and you want to get found. All right, if you are posting something that is on your business page, here's what I would recommend you do. This is from the corporate page. Over on the left side, you'll see you would just click on the share, then click on share to a page. And then most important about sharing from the corporate page is to add your own caption to bring the expertise back to yourself. You don't ever want to give away that power to anybody else, even if you're sharing an article from a magazine or something like that, because you think it's something your audience would like. always add your own caption. That really personalizes it. It helps connect people to you, and it helps establish you as like the go-to person for information about this. So you always want to make sure you're adding a caption, even when you're sharing to your own page or your profile or your group or something like that. All right, let's talk about groups. So groups can be a great way to have conversations. And lately we were just, I would say in the last 3 months or so, we've been able to link them to business pages, which makes it even better for using business. Now, if I was just going to choose one, either a page or a group, I'd recommend the page. But sometimes people like to create groups in addition to their page as a way to have some customer service among your existing customers. I would caution you to only really use this as a way to support people who've already experienced you in some way. They've purchased a product, they've met you at an event or something like that, so that when you start to tell people about the group, they're not going to be like, who is she and why is she adding me to this group? Because people tend to mark groups as spam if they're not expecting the invitation. So I recommend that you personally invite people first, let them know what's going on, then you can go ahead and invite them to the group. But it can kind of be like a club where everybody knows they have something in common, and the conversations just tend to be a little bit more in depth there because it is closed, it's not public. So you might want to consider doing that. The other thing is there's all kinds of features. You can't, well, over here on the left side, you'll see where it says files. You can actually upload PDF documents to a group. Some of you I know are involved, actually probably most of you, in the company groups that you have for support. So you could create something like that, maybe call it VIP customers or something like that. I want to show you how to link it to your business page though. This is important if you don't want to get into Facebook jail. So once you have your business page, you would go up to settings and then click on where it says edit page. And then you're going to find the part that says add a tab. If you don't already have a groups tab, and then you're going to find the one that says groups and then say add a tab. And then on your page, you go back out to the page and find that groups tab, and there will be a way for you to create a group if you don't have one, or to link an existing group if you do. And this is the best way to currently use groups for business. Super easy to do and very effective. And again, people tend to have nice conversations in there, which is great. All right, let's talk quickly about Facebook Live. It's kind of the newest, latest thing, and I know I can't see your faces, but I know some of you are rolling your eyes or getting the sweats because you're afraid I'm going to make you do Facebook Live because you're nervous about it. And I'll have to say, in my business, when I was in the field, YouTube was the biggest thing when it first started, and I was so scared to go on video that I sent my products to somebody else and said, here, you can have those for free if you talk about them on YouTube. So I did not want to go on camera, so I can totally relate if the idea of doing this makes you a little bit nervous. But I would really strongly encourage you to try going on Facebook Live, whether it's your personal profile or your business page, because there's no better way right now anywhere online to truly connect with people, because it's as if you're sitting right there in their kitchen or on their couch or in the living room having a conversation. It feels like I'm having a one-on-one conversation right with you. You can demonstrate products, you can talk about what you're doing, you can show the latest catalog, all kinds of things on Facebook Live, and people will interact with that. And the algorithm that shows people the different posts on Facebook loves Facebook Live posts. You will get a lot of reach and interaction when you use Facebook Live. So I do have a couple of tips for this because I watch a lot of these videos, and I can tell you one thing that's super important is to check your background. Make sure you're not sitting in your living room with a bunch of dirty clothes. I guess bedroom would have dirty clothes or dirty dishes, or you want to be professional. If you're in a small place, maybe live in an apartment or something. So I've seen people even do it in a closet, but you can also create like poster board behind you, or I've seen people put up shower curtains behind them, but something that is neutral and kind of inviting versus showing a messy house. Hopefully you don't have a messy house anyway, but maybe you have a little shelf with a display. Position yourself right in front of that so people can see some of your products. The other thing is, once you start Facebook Live, start talking right away. A lot of people tend to wait until they see there's a lot of viewers and then they start, and then they'll be looking at the camera going, okay, I'm just waiting for a few people to get here. And what happens is the replay is seen much more than the live video. So when people watch the replay, they have to sit through 5 minutes of you waiting for people to get here. So please get started right away. Have something to talk about even before the people get there. Maybe, just something that's not super critical to talk about, and then go ahead and jump into the content that you want. But try Facebook Live. I'm not going to make you do it, but I'm going to encourage you to go out there and try doing Facebook Live. Even if it's just something personal, you're going, to the park or something like that, and you want to see what a beautiful day is, just to practice. Another thing you can do is when you start Facebook Live, you can select the audience and change it from friends only or public on your page. Do it on your personal profile and change it to only me so that nobody else sees it. That way you can practice. All right, so let's talk about Facebook parties. I know this is a hot topic right now. Everybody wants to know, how can I get a whole lot of sales in a short amount of time? Facebook parties is an easy way for you to display your products, demonstrate your products, talk about your products, your catalogs in a short amount of time and reach a lot of people. Now, there's a lot of different techniques and steps to it. In fact, I would say this is a little bit of a more advanced technique if you really want to use it and do it correctly. So what I'm going to do is at the end of this webinar, I'm going to give you a link where you can access all the chapters in my first book that are about Facebook parties. And I actually updated this in January, rewrote the whole book and made it all the way up to date up until that point. So you're going to get all those chapters in a nice little ebook at the end. So that way I don't have to show you all the different steps, or we'd be here another 3 hours probably for me to show you everything. But I do want to encourage you to consider doing this. If you wanted to have a Facebook party where you yourself are on there, and if you're not familiar with Facebook parties, the idea is you meet everybody online on an event. Ideally, I prefer an event on a business page. Let's say Thursday at 7 p.m. You invite all these people. You tell them you're going to talk about your Regal business Thursday at 7 p.m. on this event. They get a little reminder. And then at 7 p.m., you start posting things. You might go on Facebook Live and you're showing some of the products that you personally have. You might create a post that's a video or a image or sharing, some of the company's marketing materials. You might talk about what it's like to join and be an ambassador with Regal Home Gifts. Those kinds of things happen within a half hour, 45 minutes, hour time period, and people comment on the posts, ask their questions, and at the end, you tell them how they can shop. And then all of those orders come in all at once, and it's fabulous. So I've heard people have success with Facebook parties anywhere from, $100 in sales up to $1,000 in sales. And honestly, even if it's on the lower end, you're sitting in your home for an hour on Facebook. It does take that much effort. It does take some understanding and some planning, but that might be something to consider. Even once a month, hold a Facebook party, or every week. I know people that hold Facebook parties. If you want to invite other people to invite their friends as a host, you can do that as well. So again, you're going to get the ebook about Facebook parties at the end of the webinar. So be sure you watch that, look at that slide, and then jot that down. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is how to get those comments and likes. Sometimes you're on Facebook and you're posting and you're like, is anybody even here? And then you'll post something about new shoes you got and you get 1,000 comments. So I don't know what's up with that. But let's talk about the kinds of things you can post to encourage interaction. Excuse me, I call this the 911 code. It's a formula for the types of things you want to post. And so we're talking about marketing your business. So why is she telling me to do non-marketing posts? Well, the reason is the less you sell, the more you serve. The idea is that you want to give them information that they would enjoy and benefit from, excuse me, whether or not they're a customer or not. Hold on one second, I gotta take a drink. Talking so fast and so much, drying out here. Okay, so 9, this is a proportion of the types of posts to do within any time period, whether it's a week or 2 weeks or whatever. The idea is the vast majority should not be asking for the sale. So 9 non-marketing posts to every 1 purely promotional post, and then throw in a personal or casual post. I'm going to show you some examples. Excuse me, hold on one second. All right, so sharing is caring. This is about the 9 non-marketing posts. So I'm going to just run through some quick examples. Sharing articles that are relevant to, now think about your audience. What would they enjoy reading? How-to videos, pictures. It doesn't always have to be things that you make up. It could be things that you're sharing from other sources. Lifestyle, home tips, day in the life of your business. What's it like to be a Regal ambassador? Share with them. Different ingredients from some of your products or how your products are made. A customer of the week would be fun. How you have a home-based business. What do you do for that? People are curious. No links on the non-marketing posts. No links at all. Now, you might be implying this would be a great business, but I'm not asking them to sign up or to sell something. In the promotional post, that's when you get to actually ask for the sale. Now, only one of these during that time period. So sharing from the homepage of the home office is the best way to do it, because then the material's already made. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just add your own caption and maybe your own link to personalize it. Oops, sorry, these got all out of sync here. Product of the week is a great idea. Highlight something that you really love. Talk about your online parties. Running a contest. There are rules on Facebook. You can look those up. I have some information in my book about that, but running a contest, a giveaway, current specials, what's on sale, what's in season right now, coming up with summer things, anything with your link counts as a promotional post. And if you have a lot to say, you can just do it in a multiple image post, like this example here. So there's 3 different pictures in here, but that just counts as one post. So that's how you can kind of get around having a lot to say, but don't really want to overwhelm your newsfeed. Facebook Live does that as well, because of course you can show as much as you want and it's one picture. In fact, here's some examples. When you click on the photo video to share, this is on a business page. Here are the different ways you can share multiple items at once and it would still count as one post. Okay. Also vary the types of posts that you have. On business pages, you get a lot of different options. You can take a poll. Which do you like better? Are you, what's your favorite color? Or which of these 2 products could you see putting on your dining room table? Ask them a question. Things like that are really fun to do instead of just the same old thing, regular posts. And then I say put in a personal or casual post also, because these tend to generate a lot of comments, where the business posts people might shy away, but on a personal or casual post, they tend to interact a little bit more. And then what will happen is, because you got so much activity on that post, there's kind of a ripple effect later, and the visibility in the newsfeed overall of your post after that is really helped. So anything non-business, nothing related to Regal at all, something funny, something that, ask them a question, get them to talk in the comments, funny images or videos. Of course, keep it appropriate, G-rated. Window into your world type of posts about your family vacation after you get back, of course, or something like that. Personal news, family news, random question of the week. High engagement posts have a ripple effect on your visibility afterwards. All right, I made it to 5:45 my time. Was at 8:45 your time. So let me talk real quick about how you can get those offers, and then we'll be able to go in and answer some questions. So actually, I guess I could have talked a little longer. So maybe we'll have a little longer for questions, but I do want to make sure that you know how to get that Facebook or the online parties chapter. Actually, I believe the ebook mentions how to also do parties on Instagram and Pinterest. Just ignore that part unless you're totally ready for that, because it might confuse things. But the Facebook parties, it talks about host coaching, it talks about communication, it talks about what to post, how to set them up, all that kind of stuff in that link. You just go to smdsbook.com/online parties, and it's what I call my digital business card. It's kind of a way for me to share links. So you'll see it. There'll be a big button that says download your chapter here, I think it says. And then the other thing I wanted to offer is, if any of you are interested in my books or my courses, I actually have 2 online courses that might work out really well for some of you who are really ready to kind of take a deeper dive. There's one that's called Social Media for Direct Selling. And what it does is it takes my first book, which is for representatives. I have 2, one's representatives, one's for leaders. But the first book is broken down into videos where I'm showing you all the different ways to set up your Facebook and your LinkedIn and your Twitter and all those things, how to do the online parties, all that within an online course. I also have another one called Savvy Sponsoring that's more for building a team. But that plus my books, you can all get anything on my site for 30% off if you use the code REGAL on there. And I will say, though, that I do have to charge shipping, of course, and I'm here in California. Shipping to Canada, unfortunately, just recently got really pricey, which some of you might have experienced too. So I'm really sorry about having to charge for shipping. So the 30% should more than offset the shipping. And I do want to mention the books are available on Amazon and other places. In fact, if you look at that top link where it says smdsbook.com, if you just go to smdsbook.com, there's links to all kinds of online retailers like Amazon and Books A Million and all that, if you would prefer, or if you want an audiobook or a ebook or something like that, you might find it works out to be more affordable. So that's up to you. I just want you to have the tools to be able to build your business. And I would also encourage you on that first Let's Connect link, excuse me, is to connect with me on Facebook, because every day I share a tip. So I follow the 911 code. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Let me get another drink. I guess I should have warmed up my voice today. Anyway, every day I share a tip, so I don't want you guys to miss out on that. All right. So, Carol, I think we can take some questions now. Let me see if I can get back to my control panel.
Okay. Great job, Karen. Thank you so much. And don't
Great.
worry about the voice. I do that every month. I mean to drink water as I'm speaking, and I
Yeah.
forget to do that.
I'm usually so hydrated. I don't know what's going on, but thank you.
Okay, so folks, if you have a question for Karen, you can put that in your question box right now so that we can ask Karen to address those while we still have her here live. Let me just open up the question box here to check this out. I may have to bring it back to my screen in order to do that. Let me just see here. I'm just going to switch it back to me here, Karen. You'll still be on
The audio.
audibly, yeah.
Great.
Okay, so show my screen. And let me just see here. No, we have no questions. I can't believe that. Okay, that's a first because we usually have questions at the end. But Karen, if they want to ask you questions, they can certainly post that on Facebook. I have invited you to be a part of our Facebook groups for the next 48 hours. And so they can certainly address those questions with you on our Facebook groups, Regal Chat or Regal Ambassadors Facebook.
Absolutely.
Excellent. And thank you so much for your offers as well, Karen, because I mean, what an opportunity for them to tap into somebody who knows what she's talking about and you're actually applying it and you're doing it specifically for this industry. So, you know, I know you covered a lot of information here tonight. And so, as you said earlier, for some individuals, that means that, you know, they couldn't keep up and so they might be a little bit overwhelmed. But the beauty of it being recorded is that they can go back now and watch it at their own speed. And if they have any questions as they're watching that, they can certainly post that on Facebook, or they can even send it to me as a private message and I'll forward that to you.
Perfect.
Okay, excellent. Let me have another look here. Okay, one comment said, I am overwhelmed. I feel dumb.
Oh, no. Okay, well, let me just do a little side note here. So I am, and I know it's hard to believe because I went through a lot of information really quickly, but I used to be a kindergarten teacher. I am used to taking really complex topics and breaking them down into easily digestible nuggets. It's just I wanted to give you guys a lot today so that you could get something out of it and go back and listen. But don't be afraid to ask a question, even privately, that you might think is a little too beginner, because you are honestly my favorite people to work with. Is somebody who really has the opportunity to open this wide up and to be able to really grow your business. And I know I can explain it in a way that'll be a little less scary than it might be right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Excellent. Okay. Well, Karen, thank you so much for your time, especially since you have another engagement tonight. I appreciate you putting the time in to share with the folks what they can do and how easy it really can be. And it's just a matter of now, you know, going back, watching this over again and drilling down on the step by step and making sure that they're applying the things that will help them to grow their business.
Great. Well, it's definitely my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me, and I look forward to being able to help out in the future.
Great to have you. Okay. Thanks, Karen. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Well, folks, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. I trust that you did find a lot of information here from Karen that you will be applying to your business, because, you know, I can almost guarantee that if you apply what Karen has taught you here tonight, you will see growth in your Regal business, because you're going to be tapping into new circles of people, and even the people that you're already connected with, you're going to connect with them in a whole different way, making you a lot more effective. So do listen to the recording again if need be, so that you're not feeling overwhelmed and so that you can apply the tips that Karen has shared with you here tonight. So thank you so much, and I look forward to hearing from any of you that have other questions that you'd like to email or private message to me, or post in the Regal Chat or Regal Ambassadors Facebook groups directly to Karen Clark. Okay, she will be on our groups for the next 48 hours so that you can communicate with her there. Thank you very much. God bless, and good night to all. Bye for now.